What's going on, everybody? You are turned on and tuned in to yet another episode of Disheveled Transmissions. Tonight, I'd like to talk about one of the most infamous albums in rock and roll by one of the most notorious bands that needs no introduction. I'm talking about Shout at the Devil by Mötley Crüe. Shout at the Devil, ever since its release, has just crazy. It became larger than life, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, like legendary status. Shout at the Devil was released on September 26, 1983. Recorded at Cherokee Studios in Hollywood, California. This was their second album. It's an album that's just shrouded in mystery. It has been ever since it was released. It's a lot of fun to explore, a lot of fun to listen to, and it just never gets old. This record, particularly, was produced by Tom Weirman. A lot of bands behind his resume. He did Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. He did Poison, Open Up and Say Dream Police by Cheap Trick. He did that. Flirting with Disaster by Molly Hatchet. Just, list goes on and on. Just classic albums he's done. Tom Weirman, he gets, a little bit of criticism, a little bit of flack from bands for his sound. Too overproduced, too polished. I know Dee Snider said something about Stay Hungry not being as heavy as they wanted, and also Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick had complained that one of their albums, In Color, he produced was it took a lot of the heaviness out of it. But hey, this guy makes hits. I mean, Stay Hungry is, look how many albums it sold, how many copies it sold, and all these albums that everybody knows. Open Up and Say how many copies it sold, and then this particular Shout at the Devil. They did good. Mötley Crüe did good going with him, because he gave them that just big, rock star sound, that bigger than life sound that they were looking for with this album. And I think he did really good with that. So there's no complaints with me with his work. To me, I think it was just totally awesome. The sound's good, the mixing's good. So, cover art, there's the thing with the cover art was originally, when it was originally released, it had it was a black cover. It had a pentagram that you could only see if you turned the album like a 45-degree angle. You could see the pentagram, and that was really controversial at the time, because there was satanic panic thing was just starting up, and in the late 70s and early 80s. So that really made the record company, made Elektra nervous. Top that off, you had on the back it says, "Caution, this record may contain backwards messages," or something like that, and something to that effect. And that raised a bunch of red flags and got parents crazy, and so off the bat there, it made kids want to buy the record, and it made parents crazy, worried about what their kids were listening to. Just an exciting, before you even listen to any of the music, the cover was exciting. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant cover. It's iconic. I think. But later releases, they did the just four faces on it. Recently just bought the 2003 re-release CD, and I'll get into the reason. I love that CD. That version I'll get into in a bit. But the cover, they changed it from the pentagram to just a separate picture of all four. I hope you guys can see that. This may be kind of a glare to it. But the original cover had the pentagram, and I think this was the back cover, from what I remember, of all the band together, which is a really cool picture. These pictures were on the if you folded the album, the gatefold thing, there it was on the inside of the album. like a bigger version of those pictures. I'm really not sure why. I guess, the controversy is why they changed the cover and put the faces, 4 separate faces on there. But yeah, I mean, the original, I would love to have it again too, especially on vinyl, because the original was just so exciting to look at while you listen to the record. Apocalyptic looking backgrounds and stuff, that was really really awesome, and it kind of went with a loose concept of what Shout at the Devil was about, which was about teen rebellion and how evil had taken over the world, and the whole future of the world belonged to the youth, and it was a loose concept that was kind of going on out. I think that's what in the beginning, when you listen to that, that's kind of setting the tone, which each song, it stands on its own, but it's a loose concept of just freedom and rebellion and just non-conformity, everything rock and roll. This album is everything rock and roll should be. The songs, you have Bastard, which was about one of the managers that screwed the band over, and it was talking, should have been a bastard dead. It was talking, kind of like letting anger out on that, like shady managers that you find on, in the Sunset Strip scene at the time. And most of these songs reflect the Sunset Strip scene, just crazy, just balls out partying all the time, and dangerous living on the edge. You got Knock 'em Dead Kid, which was about Nikki Sixx. He had gotten a fight outside the Rainbow Room with a bunch of bikers, and he I think the story goes he took his belt off, which was like a spike belt, and was fighting bikers and just crazy stuff like that. It was over chicks, I think somebody said he was looking at their chick, or he was looking at his chicks, or talking to them. It was crazy, yeah. 10 Seconds to Love, you had that, which is about pretty much orgies, which Mötley Crüe was pretty much a part of a lot of, if you've seen the movie The Dirt, you probably know, or read any of the books, you know what I'm talking about with that. But yeah, I find, all the songs on this, there's not really a bad song to me. The reason I want to get back to the 2003 re-release now, the only complaint I really have with Shout at the Devil is that the first side is too short, and I wish they would have left a song, an unreleased song called I Will Survive, not the Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. It's an original Mötley Crüe penned song, and I wish they would have put that on right after Helter Skelter, the last song on the first side, their Beatles cover, which is just totally freaking rocks, man. I think it would have been so much more awesome, because Helter Skelter, the ending of that, just blends right in with the start of I Will Survive, and that would have been that's such a killer song, man. You got everybody sounds good. Mick Mars is solo sick. Vince Neil does some of his best vocals, and the lyrics are good in that song. I've always liked that track. And it's a hell of a way to end the first side of the album. You got this evil sounding backwards. I think it was Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee drunk in the studio, yelling out a bunch of crazy shit, like, Jesus is Satan or something like that, just some crazy shit. And, but it sounds wicked, and it would be a good way to end the first side of the album. That's really the only complaint I had. There's so much mystery to this. There's a biographer or something, or a guy that was interviewing a biographer that said a bunch of evil shit going on. He saw a fork and a knife, while they were recording, fly up and hit the ceiling or something like that, which, that's debatable, but there's claims like that really that Nikki Sixx was studying, like, some really evil shit and was fucking with some evil shit and like shit he couldn't control and didn't give a fuck, because he was so strung out and fucked up and partying. But Vince Neil disputes that, and I tend to agree with Vince. He said they were just partying, and then Vince, although they wanted to originally name the song "Shout with the Devil" instead of "Shout at the Devil," they changed that because the pressure from people at the time, the record companies, the managers, and stuff like that, and just the people that were just like wimpy scared of it. Vince said they were just a bunch of kids partying. I tend to agree with that. I don't think there was any knives flying around, and all that, so the horror movie thing, going on. But it is a really cool album. It's a shrouded in mystery. You had in the beginning again, it was written by Nikki, but it was credited to an Alistair Fiend, which was an engineer named Jeff Workman that they had put on, to do that, to read or recite that poem. And then you got the interlude, God Bless the Children of the Beast, which is just beautiful. Mick Mars guitar. I've always liked Mick. He's not a show off. He's not one of those guys that try to do, let's see how many scales how many notes I can fit into a scale, or what, he, not that stuff's not talented, but I tend to like soul more myself, my preference. And he has that minimalist approach, that, but it's allowed. It's not like, say a minimalist that like maybe somebody like Andy Summers does, or The Edge and U2, Mick, he does like a minimalist with a loud, in your face, like boom, boom kind of sound. And I love that about him. I've always loved his playing. It's got a bluesy style with just killer rock. He can rock some killer rock. And good solos. I like his solos. I love everything about Shout the Devil. I could probably spend a long time talking about it with my buds. It's just like, it's definitely one of those albums. Even if you're not a big Mötley Crüe fan, you should probably have it in your collection. Just if nothing else for reference, purposes, because it really is. It's a definitive rock album, and it's, for me personally, I'd put it'd probably make my top 20 of list of best hard rock albums of all time. Easily make my top 20, if not top 10, because it's just so, it's everything rebellious, rock and roll, heavy metal, crossed over into one. And you just, you can't deny the importance of that. Most metal bands out there today and rock bands are, if they're not big into Crüe, they are influenced by, that album. I give this, like, the version that I was talking about with I Will Survive, that's how I listen to the album now. I always listen to it with that song coming after Helter Skelter. It's a masterpiece, solid 5 for me. The cover is just, not so much the cover now that I showed you this cover, but the original cover is just, I want to find this on vinyl again, which I'm sure it ain't hard to do. It's just so much fun to look back on childhood, and just, that feeling you got of excitement. This record may contain backwards messages, and putting it on the turntables. I'm one of them nerds that does that, like to hear that stuff. And it's just, it's a fun record. It's a kick-ass record. It's one that, it's timeless. It never gets old to me, and I'll probably be rocking it till the day I die, to be honest. But yeah, awesome cover, bigger than life production. I'm happy with the production. I don't see what people's problem with Tom Weirman was or is. I think he's a great producer. I think he did great on this one. and probably be doing some more stuff that he produced down the road, because he's done some great metal albums, especially in the 80s. And yeah, just the production, the cover, the music is kick-ass. This is definitely the best Mötley Crüe record. I think it was when they were young, hungry, crazy. And if you've seen them perform at the US Festival in 1983, right before Shout at the Devil came out, you see four young guys that just don't know the ride they're in for, and it's going to get even more crazy, which is very, very crazy. Yeah, interesting to, Mötley Crüe is a very interesting band to just explore, and just, yeah, they lived it up, man. Mötley Crüe and Kiss are probably my two favorite bands to I can watch them and listen to them for hours. But yeah, so yeah, I won't keep rambling. Like I said, I could talk about this shit all night. This record, yeah, you guys know it's a very important record to rock history, and but do you guys like it? Do you think it's the best Crüe albums? Do you like the Crüe? Am I overrating it? Am I putting it up to be more than what it really should be? Let me know your thoughts. If you think there's better Crüe albums, or if this is your favorite. This is definitely my favorite. Yeah, I would love to talk about this with you guys. So just let me know. Just leave me comments and whatever. And I want to talk about this with y'all. So yeah, I guess that's about all now. We got some good stuff coming your way on the channel. Like, subscribe, so make sure you don't miss it. We have our 1 year anniversary coming up, where we watch Trick or Treat on live stream with you guys. That's going to be a ball, and just tons of other stuff that we got planned. So yeah, so until next time, let the good times roll and keep rocking.